Hi Nana. Today we will learn about the properties of ammonia gas. Okay. So if you see the properties can be classified into two types. One is physical properties and another one is chemical properties. So first of all we will discuss about the physical properties of the gas. Physical properties means the properties like color. If you see the color of the ammonia gas, dry ammonia gas, it is colorless. Dry ammonia gas is colorless. But this ammonia fumes. It fumes strongly. It fumes strongly in the moist air. Because in the moist air you will find water vapor. In the moist air, water vapor is present. So in this water vapor, the ammonia gas will dissolve. So that means in the air, if you see in the air is generally invisible. But here in the water vapor, what happens? This ammonia gas has dissolved. As ammonia gas is highly soluble, it will dissolve in the water vapor. So that what happens? So that the fumes of this substance, the fumes of this gas is appeared. I mean, we can see the fumes of this gas. See here, when ammonia dissolves in water vapor, it forms ammonium hydroxide. So that means very tiny droplets of ammonium hydroxide are present. They are suspended in the air. Hence, it appears to be white, or else it fumes. So the fumes of this ammonium hydroxide will appear in the moist air. So that is why ammonia is said to be, it fumes strongly in the moist air. Okay. So that means it appears to be colored, white color. Okay. And the white color fumes will appear due to the dissolution of ammonia in water vapor and finally forms into ammonium hydroxide. So like this, the color of ammonia gas, when it is in the dry air, it is colorless, but in the moist air it strongly fumes. Okay. Now let us discuss about the next physical property, taste. What is the taste of ammonia gas? This ammonia, it is slightly alkaline taste. This ammonia is slightly alkaline in taste. So what is the meaning of slightly alkaline? Slightly alkaline means it is bitter. So ammonia is a bitter in taste because it is somewhat basic in nature. It is somewhat alkaline in nature. Okay, so it is bitter to taste. And if you see the odor means smell. So it has sharp, characteristic, pungent smell. Okay, sharp, pungent smell. It causes burning sensation. So it causes burning sensation in the upper part of the nasal passage. In the upper part of nasal passage. In the upper part of the nasal passage, you will find burning sensation. Okay, and also this ammonia gas will bring tears in the eyes. Okay, bring tears in the eyes. So nasal passage. Suppose this is the nose. Here inside the nose there is lining. Inside the nose there is lining. So the upper passage. So this is called as the upper passage, and this lining. So it causes burning sensation. Okay, in the upper part of the nasal passage it causes burning sensation. Okay, so like this. So now this is about the smell or its odor. Now let us learn about the other physical property. What is that? Solubility. So fourth physical property is solubility. See, this ammonia gas is highly soluble, very highly soluble. Every 1 milliliter of water, can dissolve 700 milliliters of ammonia gas. 700 milliliters of ammonia gas at 1 atmosphere pressure, at normal pressure. 1 atmosphere pressure means normal pressure. Okay, and at 20 degrees centigrade. So at this temperature and this pressure, so 1 milliliter of water can dissolve 700 milliliters of ammonia gas. So that much soluble is the ammonia in water. That means it is extremely soluble. Okay, the extremely soluble nature of nature can be explained or proved by an experiment known as fountain experiment. See, already we have learnt what is fountain experiment while studying hydrogen chloride gas, HCl gas. So the same experiment again here also we can study. Okay, so fountain experiment. So in this experiment, actually while studying a fountain experiment related to HCl gas, so here the solution, litmus solution is blue litmus solution we have taken. But here for ammonia, for studying ammonia NH3 gas, you have to take a red litmus solution. We have to use red litmus solution. So remaining thing, the same explanation and the same experiment. Okay. So here actually what happened in HCl gas, in the fountain experiment, finally red litmus solution, blue litmus solution, it is converted into red, whereas in ammonia, the fountain experiment related to ammonia gas, red litmus solution is converted into blue, remaining is the same. So once again go through the fountain experiment, okay, which I have explained you in hydrogen chloride gas. Okay, the same procedure here also. If for explanation of ammonia, extreme soluble nature of ammonia can be explained by the same fountain experiment. So once again go through the fountain experiment which was explained in HCl gas. So the same thing we can learn here, but the red litmus instead of blue litmus, here for studying ammonia gas, you have to use red litmus paper, red litmus solution, and finally that red litmus solution will convert into blue litmus solution in the form of fountain. Okay, so this is about the solubility. Okay, so go through the fountain experiment which was explained by me in HCl gas. Okay, right. Now the next physical property is vapor density. See the vapor density. If you see the vapor density of ammonia, vapor density is also called as relative density. It is also called as relative density. So the vapor density will have a molecular formula, molecular weight by 2. So what is the molecular weight of ammonia? 17. The molecular weight of ammonia is 17 and by 2. So it will be equal to 8.5. So the vapor density of ammonia is 8.5. The vapor density of ammonia is 8.5. Whereas the vapor density of air is equal to 14.4. So which one is more? So air is having more density than ammonia. So that is why the denser one will sink and the lighter one will float. That means ammonia gas does not sink. Okay, this ammonia gas it floats being lighter. Ammonia gas is being lighter than the air, so it will try to move upward. It will try to move up in the air. It does not sink. Okay. See, if you compare the vapor density of ammonia with vapor density of air, so vapor density of air is equal to vapor density of ammonia into 0.59 into 0.59. That means ammonia vapor density is 0.59. Okay, vapor density of air is 0.59 times that of ammonia. Okay, right. Now the next physical property is, so here the ammonia is lighter gas than air. So from this it is understood that ammonia gas is lighter than air. Okay. Whereas HCl is heavier than air. Hydrogen chloride gas is heavier than air, but here in this case ammonia gas is lighter than air. Okay, so this is about the vapor density, which is one of the physical property. The next physical property is boiling point. Boiling point of ammonia. So its boiling point is minus 33 degrees centigrade. Okay, if you cool ammonia gas, below minus 33 degrees centigrade, what happens? It will convert into liquid. So ammonia gas, if it is cooled to below 33 degrees centigrade, it will convert into liquid. Above 33 degrees centigrade, that ammonia will exist as gas. Okay. Next, freezing point. If you see, freezing point of ammonia, it is minus 78 degrees centigrade. That means below minus 78 degrees centigrade, that ammonia gas will exist. That ammonia will exist in the form of solid. Okay, and above minus 78 degrees centigrade up to minus 33 degrees centigrade, so that ammonia it exists in the form of liquid. Okay, right. Next, liquefaction. 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 What is the meaning of liquefaction? Liquefaction is nothing but conversion of a gas into liquid. So ammonia gas can be converted into liquid by several methods. Simply suppose if ammonia gas is present in a vessel or else in a container, if this container can withstand high pressures, then by applying a pressure of 8 atmosphere, if you apply the pressure of 8 atmosphere under normal conditions, that means under normal conditions means at room temperature, at room temperature, if the ammonia gas is present and if you apply pressure of 8 atmosphere, what happens? All the molecules will come closer and closer and finally it converts into liquid ammonia. That means this ammonia gas will liquefy at a pressure of 8 atmosphere under room temperature. Okay, so when 8 atmosphere pressure is applied on ammonia gas at room temperature, so all the molecules will come closer and closer and finally that ammonia will convert into liquid. So that means liquefaction can be done. Okay, at 8 atmosphere pressure under normal conditions. Next, if you speak about another physical property known as physiological nature. Physiological nature means its effect on the life. Okay, see, ammonia, it's a non-poisonous gas. Ammonia is a non-poisonous gas. Okay, though it is non-poisonous gas, however, it is basic in nature. So as it is basic in nature, what happens? This gas will cause what? It causes burning sensation. It causes what? Burning sensation in the upper part of the nasal passage. Okay, so that means it will cause burning sensation in the respiratory system. The respiratory system. That means it will try to damage the respiratory system. Okay, seriously it will damage the respiratory system. So like this. So these are some of the physical properties. So already we have covered some more physical properties. Okay, now we will learn about the chemical properties of the ammonia gas. Now we will learn about the chemical properties of ammonia gas. So under chemical properties, first of all we will see about the combustibility. Combustibility. What is the meaning of combustibility? That means whether it is undergoing, whether will it undergo combustion or else whether it is supports combustion. So all these things we can learn under combustibility. See, actually ammonia is neither combustible in air, okay, nor supporter of combustion, That means ammonia gas, it does not help in the combustion. For example, if you take oxygen gas, it will help in combustion of other material. But ammonia gas, it does not support the combustion. And moreover, this ammonia, it is neither combustible. That means it itself does not undergo combustion, and it does not support combustion. It does not support combustion. It does not make other substance to undergo combustion, or else it does not burn the other substance, and also itself won't undergo burning. Okay, even it does not undergo burning in the air. But the same ammonia undergoes combustion. The same ammonia undergo combustion in pure oxygen atmosphere. In pure oxygen atmosphere, it undergo combustion. But in air it does not undergo combustion. But if you send ammonia gas, and that ammonia gas will undergo combustion in pure oxygen atmosphere. That means in pure oxygen. Here atmosphere of oxygen means not that air. So it is combustible in oxygen atmosphere. That means in the oxygen gas. Oxygen atmosphere means it is combustible in, that means it is undergo combustion in oxygen gas. Okay. So ammonia burns in an atmosphere of oxygen, and it can be catalytically oxidized. Okay, this ammonia undergo combustion in oxygen atmosphere, and also this ammonia can be catalytically oxidized by using a catalyst known as platinum. So ammonia can be catalytically oxidized. Catalytically it can be oxidized. Okay, so we will see these two with a small experiment. So here oxidation, this is also oxidation only. Ammonia undergo combustion in oxygen means it is nothing but oxygen. It is oxidation of ammonia in excess of oxygen without catalyst, but here with catalyst. So we will learn these two with a small experiment. So there is a cotton plug, put some cotton here, put some cotton plug here. Okay, so now it is covered with cotton. Okay, so first of all, send ammonia gas in through this pipe, and at the nozzle means here at the opening, what happens is ammonia gas will come out. So here, what do you find? You will find air. What do you find here? Air is present. Just lit this gas. If you lit this gas, this gas does not undergo, it does not produce flame. Even if you lit it, it does not produce flame. Okay. Gas does not burn in the air, and that means this ammonia gas, it does not burn in the air because it is not catching flame. So flame is not produced. In the air, this flame is not produced. Ammonia does not burn in air. Now, first of all, what did we do? We have sent ammonia gas. Here air is present. Okay, here air is present. So after sending ammonia gas, so this is opening. So through this opening, ammonia gas will come out. If you lit this ammonia gas, it does not burn. Now stop as it is not burning, stop sending of ammonia gas for some time. Okay, after stopping the sending of ammonia gas, now through this pipe send oxygen gas. Send oxygen gas. For some time send this oxygen gas. So what happens? This oxygen gas will occupy this entire space and finally it will dry out. It will drive away, or else it will throw away the air. Okay, so this oxygen gas will drive. It will drive away the air, and finally instead of air, so this entire space is occupied by oxygen gas now. Now this entire space is occupied by what? Oxygen. Before that there was air, but that air was thrown away by this oxygen gas. So this oxygen gas will drive out the air, and finally this place is occupied by oxygen. Now send ammonia gas and lit it. So now if you send ammonia gas, this ammonia gas will come out through this nozzle. And now if you lit this, what happened? This ammonia gas will burn with a yellowish flame. Now the ammonia gas will burn with yellowish flame. So from this it is understood that ammonia gas burns. Okay, here it will burn. Ammonia is combustible in oxygen. So from this it is understood that ammonia gas is combustible in oxygen. Okay, so what happens? Yellowish flame is formed. Here, what reaction takes place? This ammonia will undergo combustion. Okay, this ammonia gas will undergo combustion in oxygen and produces nitrogen gas. Okay, that ammonia will break down into nitrogen and water is formed. So here this is oxidation, because removal of hydrogen is taking place. So in ammonia, nitrogen is having hydrogens with it, and those hydrogens are removed. Hence this process is said to be oxidation of ammonia. This is said to be oxidation of ammonia. Here we are not using any catalyst. Hence it is known as oxidation of ammonia without catalyst. Without catalyst. Without using any catalyst. Okay, simply we have sent excess oxygen without using, okay, oxidation of ammonia, okay, without using catalyst. Okay, but here we are using excess of oxygen, using excess of oxygen. We have used excess of oxygen, large amount of oxygen we will send. Okay, so this is one method of proving that ammonia can undergo combustion in oxygen. Okay, next method is catalytic oxidation of ammonia. Next method of combustion of ammonia can be proved by catalytic oxidation of ammonia. Catalytic oxidation of ammonia. Catalytic oxidation of ammonia. Here we use catalyst, platinum catalyst. We use platinum catalyst. See, actually we'll take a conical flask. We'll fit this conical flask with a 3-hole rubber stopper. Into one hole we will send a pipe. Okay, we'll send a pipe. Into another hole a filament made up of platinum. Okay, it is present and it is connected to electric wires. So one is positive and another one is negative. And through the third hole, again there is a delivery tube. Okay, right. So now from one, look here, from one a delivery tube, so we'll send a mixture of ammonia and oxygen in the ratio of this ammonia and oxygen, it is sent in the ratio of 2:1. So that means here ammonia and oxygen gas is sent in the ratio of 2:1. So here excess of ammonia is not, excess of oxygen is not used in this process, but in the previous process we have used excess of oxygen, but here in this process we are using a measured amount of oxygen only. Okay, see, now if you connect this to the electrical power, what happens? Now this current will flow through this filament, and this platinum filament will glow. It will, it will, as current is passing through this one, what happens? This will become red hot. This will become red hot, and this platinum filament will glow. Okay, so because of this glowing platinum filament, so as it is catalyst, so due to this one, due to the hot conditions, what happens? Reaction takes place between ammonia and oxygen in the presence of catalyst, in the presence of platinum catalyst, and the temperature, here the temperature created will be around 9000 degrees centigrade. Okay, so under this condition, what happens? Under this condition, this ammonia react with oxygen catalytically in the presence of catalyst. So what happens? It forms instead of nitrogen. In the previous case, when ammonia was reacted with oxygen, nitrogen was formed. But in this case, it formed nitric oxide and water. It forms nitric oxide and water. Nitric oxide and water is formed, H2O. Nitric oxide and water is formed. If you see the balanced equation, so 4NH3 5O2, okay, 4NO, 4 nitric oxide, okay, and 6H2O. So now what happens? This nitric oxide will further. So here initially what we have to do? Here initially we have to send the mixture of this ammonia and oxygen into this one. So now this reaction takes place. Okay, and this one, the nitric oxide which is present, it will further undergo oxidation. It will further undergo oxidation and forms oxygen gas. It reacts with oxygen gas and forms nitrogen dioxide. Nitrogen dioxide gas, it is a reddish brown colored gas. It is a reddish brown gas. So this reddish brown gas, it will fill in the conical flask. Hence the conical flask will appear reddish brown color inside. Okay, slowly what happened? This reddish brown colored gas will pass out. Okay, so that means this nitrogen dioxide gas can be utilized. It can be used for some other purposes. Okay, so from this it is understood that this ammonia will react with oxygen in the presence of catalyst to form oxides of nitrogen, okay, nitric oxide and nitrogen dioxide. After some time, what happens? Just you stop sending current into this one. So after some time, after starting the reaction, okay, for some time just you send current, and after that you just switch off the current. Even if the current is switched off, what happens? The reaction will continue. Why it is continuing? Because this reaction, the catalytic oxidation of this one, ammonia, it is a exothermic reaction. That means heat energy is released. So along with the liberation of nitrogen and nitric oxide and water, so some heat energy is also released. So because of this heat energy, this platinum will continue to glow. Because of this reaction is an exothermic reaction, so some amount of heat is liberated, and due to that heat, the platinum will glow. So when platinum glows, what happens? This catalyst it is ready to act as catalyst for the reaction. So that means this reaction will continue to occur. So that means even if you stop the passage of electric current, so the reaction will continue. The mixture of ammonia and oxygen will react with each other, okay, and form reddish brown colored fumes of nitrogen dioxide, okay, so that the reddish brown colored fumes of nitrogen dioxide will come out. So from this it is understood that we can come to a conclusion that the reaction between ammonia and oxygen is exothermic, okay, and platinum, this is a platinum filament, it acts as a catalyst, okay, right. So we will learn the other chemical properties in the next video.